This podcast is owned and operated by the RCR Association, a private third party to the Department of National Defense. The content of this podcast is the responsibility of the RCR Association and does not necessarily reflect the views or policies of the Government of Canada. The official emblems of the regiment are used with the permission of Regimental Headquarters, the RCR. So, how did you get involved with writing the book?
Ooh, so that stretches back a ways. So I'll go back.
Please tell us about it. Yeah.
For that one, yeah. So 2010, right? We're overseas, Task Force 110, and the Unit Master Sniper, and we got the.
You were the master sniper of the task force,
the
battalion
sniper.
Wow, the battle group. Okay,
wow, battle group battalion. It's all. Yeah.
And who's this with? Is this with one RCR?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm gonna call it the CanCon show. I can't remember what the actual title was. But
Okay.
it was a bunch of performers and entertainers that came across to do like singing and entertain the troops. So part of that was a guy, Paul Gross. And I happened to be in the camp, and my sergeant major is like, hey, can you just take him back to your sea cans and show him some of your sniper stuff? And I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool. Once I got kind of talking to him about it, he's like, this is something I'd like to pursue. So
what do you mean pursue? He wants to be a sniper?
No. No. So he made Hyena Road.
Okay.
So Hyena Road is based on my group's stories from 2006 and 2010.
Wow.
Because I was the Unit Master Sniper for 306 and 110.
That's incredible. You were the master sniper, the UMS for both of those deployment rotations.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was, it's rare. I think there's only, I can't even actually think of another person that did two runs of Afghanistan in that seat.
Wow.
There's been snipers that have come back a couple times, but I'm not in that position. Anyways, that goes on. Movie comes out. Then I get a call from this guy, Mir Bahamnyar, which is really hard to say the first couple times you say it. But he's an American Iranian with a bit of German background, and he's a historian.
Okay.
And he's like, hey, so this former SEAL gave me your name, and he's like, I want to write a book about snipers.
Okay.
Like, cool.
Wow.
That is also cool. So let's do this. So the film came out in 2012.
Hyena Road.
So I got to go to the TIFF.
The premiere of it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did the semi-red carpet. We weren't that important that we went down the red carpet, but we did go into the green room, met some really nice people.
But that's neat. That's the Toronto International Film Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big event.
Wow. It was really well done. So going back to Mir, I looked into his background a little bit because you don't want to just, fly by night maybe. But he was a true historian. He's written books on Rangers, SEALs. One of the guys that helped him with the SEAL book was the guy who recommended me for him to kind of collaborate with. So that's 2012. We talked, did it back and forth, and then it kind of went dead. So 2016, it reemerged. So the intent behind the book was to get as many snipers as we could from all the regiments and just have them tell a story. Like, give them an event in their timeline, whether it was Afghanistan or Bosnia, Kosovo, training even, just so there was a nice cross-section of, what it's like to be a sniper in the Canadian Forces and what their experiences were. Because up to this point, there was only, like the record-breaking shot,
Mm-hmm.
And a couple other small things, but nothing that really captured like the
scope of it.
whole thing.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of interest at first. So guys started.
And you're talking about like active snipers, retired snipers.
Yeah.
You were reaching out to the whole community,
Everybody I knew.
and you did that through like UMSs, the network of.
Where was I at the time? I was I just gone over to CSOR. So I still knew a lot of the guys
Right.
personally. So like Rick here, well, maybe Rick's not here anymore.
Sergeant Major Burnett's at ACOI at
Okay.
leadership.
Oh yeah. So like guys that I knew, that had deployed and that had interesting, stories to tell. And Mir started interviewing all these people,
Okay.
and it was good.
Wow.
And then he came to the kind of realization that he didn't have the breadth, the background to write this. Like he doesn't know enough. He's
To describe it himself.
like to use the right words, to kind of talk logically about it.
Yeah.
His background, he was a ranger for a little while, and then he pursued his writing. His wife actually is, and I just totally forgot her name, Michelle. She's the writer for Murdoch Mysteries.
Wow.
Yeah, so pretty talented duo there. So he's like, you guys are going to write these stories, and that, I think that frightened a few people. Some of the guys are like, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
To put their words into writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easier to be interviewed.
Yeah.
And then you do all the work.
The storytelling of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And other than like put your words down on a piece of paper, not only for someone to scrutinize, but look at how you present yourself.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys backed out, unfortunately. We had a few from the Patricias that said no. We had one young guy from the Vandu. He's like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
So it ended up being me, Barry Nisbet, on our Sierra guy.
Another distinguished sniper.
Yeah, he was with me on 306 and 110.
Wow.
Eve Bedard, and then Curtis Albee put some notes in there. So there's still a cross section, but it's an RC. It's all RCR, unfortunately. But I think it still captures the essence of what we were trying to present, which in a nutshell is, what is sniping? What does it look like in the Canadian Forces? So a bit of the program, not giving away any other like real secrets, but an overview of what it takes to get through the course. And then talk about the equipment, and then we get into some of the stories, and then finish off with like where is the program going?
So where are you in the writing of this book?
Done.
Wow. What's it called?
Send It.
Send It?
Yeah.
That's an awesome name.
Yeah. It kind of spoke to everything we do, right? Like in our sniper commentary, the spotter, the number one, the shooter, says stand by, letting the spotter know that he's ready to let go. And then the spotter's like, send it.
So what's amazing.
Yeah. It made sense for a couple things. So,
wow.
And then like it's Send It, Canada's snipers at war in Afghanistan. Because minus, I tell a very quick story about sniping in Kosovo, because that was my first tour as a sniper. The rest is all Afghanistan based. Good stories, I think. What we didn't want was like the chest beating. Like this was such a fantastic shot. This, engagement was, 2,000, just over 2,000 meters away, blah, blah, blah.
You want to filter the pride out of it.
Yeah. Tell like ground truth. Like some of the stuff was hard. Some of the like situations were not good. So those are the stories that we kind of like ground truth. This is what it is. We still have all those other stories. Maybe there'll be a part 2 to the book, but
I think there should be.
Yeah.
Like this is the start.
Yeah. we're hoping it's well received. We're still waiting for the paper copy to come out.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be out last week on the 17th. So the only thing out right now is a Kindle version,
Okay.
which doesn't have the pictures, or there's an after action report that we had in there,
Okay.
from Afghanistan, and then some mission examples like vignettes that I used to use as a briefing tool, for new OCs and what have you.
Wow.
Yeah. So the paper copy will be a much fuller representation, but the Kindle's still out there if anybody wants to get a read on. So
Sorry, so when's the date of release for the paper copy?
don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
To be determined.
We actually just pinged the publisher today. I think the marketing guy's on vacation.
Yeah.
It's summer, so
Okay.
so be it.
All right. Well, when you know, let us know, and then we'll try to get it out there.
100%.
That's awesome.
It's the same with Steve Macbeth and John. Same publisher.
That's awesome.
They're a military focused publishing group, and if you look at their Double Daggers website, you'll probably see some names in there that you recognize from around the halls here even.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So,
Sir, if I can ask you, can you tell us in a nutshell about your career?
sure. Yeah. It was, I think I had a lucky career. It was fortunate to a certain extent. So, I got in 94.
Wow, 94.
94. Yeah. Yeah. Long time ago. We were the last Reg Force course through Cornwallis.
You know, I just want to say for the record, because I've never done recce, but my friends have.
Yeah.
And recce just finished like a month ago, not even. And the condition my friends were in by the end of it,
Yeah.
they were pretty beat up.
Yeah.
They were very physically exhausted, to say the least, but their bodies were physically, how did I describe it? Just like beat, man, by the environment.
Yeah.
Right? You're patrolling and you're patrolling hard.
Yeah.
And you got heavy weight. It's small team tactics. You're navigating across long traces, and to which the conditions are very austere.
Yeah.
We're talking about very hilly conditions, very I don't want to say jungle, but almost like that in the
Yeah.
research forest. From what I understand,
Yeah.
you're thick bush, and just the conditions of what their legs look like, it was rough, and the amount of weight they lost. So for you to go back-to-back courses,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
Recce course ended in November.
Wow.
So it was, yeah, like the conditions were, when we did our boat drills,
Yeah.
2-man boat drills, we had to break the ice off the side of the river
Wow.
to get out into the water. The basic sniper was life-changing. Like, it was hard.
But why life-changing? Because recce's hard too.
Recce was hard physically.
Yeah.
This one hurt my brain a little.
What do you mean?
Like, judging distance, using mathematical equations, using your tools.
Critical thinking.
Yeah. Like recce, you learned how to navigate.
Right.
The snipers now do it on your guts and over extended ground with maybe just one other person with you. So
You talk about that independence. We're talking about very minimalist, independent kind of team
Yeah.
environment.
like even and not to diminish recce, because like I love recce, but even in a debt of 4,
Hmm.
you have someone to lean on, or multiple people to lean on if there's something you're not good at. On the sniper course, if you're not good at it and you can't get good at it, you're going to fail.
Well,
Yeah, you're going to be done. And the standards never really changed, but the evaluation criteria has somewhat. So
okay.
when I did mine, judging distance was judging distance. It hasn't that hasn't really changed. Observation, picking items out of a camouflaged area sort of thing. They're blending with their background. That hasn't really changed. But stalking back then, I had to pass 8 stalks. 2 of them had to be live. Now I think you have to pass 2. I'm not sure if one of them has to be live or not, but you still do the same amount.
Right.
So the evaluation is just focused differently.
Right.
But once you got on the course and you started learning all the stuff,
Hmm.
then you wanted to stay there. And I talk about just real briefly in the book about, stress. So you get a lot of A-type personality people who are focused. They want to succeed. They're fit. They haven't really faced anything that they couldn't excel at yet. And now they're starting to fail everything. That's crushing. So,
Oh yeah.
induced stress. Because the instructors don't yell.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have ridiculous timelines to, get on a truck or form up. They treat you as like adults, and all the stress you feel, that's on you.
It's self-imposed.
You're doing it to yourself.
Wow.
Yeah. So I
And what do you think about that? Do you think that describes, like, when you observe someone like going through that course? Do you see it says a lot about their character?
there's some people who excel at it or can deal with it, and then there's they just can't, like it. It's not something that they can live in that kind of state of stress. And you'd see it. We're doing for example, unknown distance shoot.
Mm-hmm.
So with the C3, which is a 308, 168 grain normal round, and engaging targets at ranges that you are judging the distance to. Because you weren't allowed to use laser rangefinders.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go down and pace the targets out.
Yeah.
So, if you have a bad day as a spotter, you're going to fail your shooter. And we saw that happen a few times. And then,
That's pretty crazy. Like, when I think about all the courses I've done,
yeah,
I don't think I've ever done an assessment, maybe on POQ, but even then, where like it was so much on your partner
yeah,
for your outcome.
exactly.
Yeah.
And through the course, I had a more senior guy than I was. So there was expectations, like I didn't want to let this guy down.
The sniper course, that is regiment wide.
It was run by the regiments, but it was actually, back then it was battalions, right?
Oh,
So one
so
RCR,
each battalion ran their own.
Yeah.
Wow.
I taught on 3 RCR basic snipers, 2 of them, and I taught on, it was 5 1 RCR sniper courses.
Yeah.
There was still some cross pollination, but it was mostly for the battalions.
That's so interesting.
Yeah,
'Cause
now it's brigades.
Now it's brigade. Yeah.
But you grew. If you were successful, then you grew. I think we passed 6 of 18.
Wow.
Tracy Hamilton was one of them.
No way.
Tracy was with me in Cornwallis too.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Tracy Hamilton, for anybody who doesn't know the name, he was Charles Company Sergeant Major while I was at 1 RCR. He is somebody from the 1 RCR sniper community.
Yeah.
And still in service till this day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's awesome. Like, your paths have been crossing together over your career.
So long, yeah.
So you guys did your sniper course as well together?
Mm-hmm. So there was only 3 of us that got taken from the basic sniper and put in the sniper group.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the group used to exist inside of recce platoon.
Can you explain this to us? Like, the group versus sniper platoon. Is sniper platoon and the group 2 different entities?
So sniper platoon is what we are now.
Okay.
The group was what we were back then. So in recce platoon,
Right.
you had your recce sections,
Mm-hmm.
and then a sniper section or group. So there was 6 of us, and then Bruce was our UMS. Bruce was kind of on hiatus from Dwyer Hill, so he was in 1 RCR, and he had, I think, every qualification known to man.
Wow. Just a super soldier.
Yeah. So again, like, fortunate to have a mentor kind of introduce us to sniping and what snipers do, and then take us to like another advanced level of training. A lot of the stuff he would train us on, or the methods he would use, were stuff that he had learned from JTF2.
Was this extremely advanced compared to what your scope of knowledge and skill was?
I think we were okay. Like,
Okay.
it wasn't it wasn't so advanced as it was enlightening.
Right.
And because he had those connections, we got to train with a couple guys from the hill that came down and showed us how to do some like pistol shooting, some long range shooting. So lots of good information exchange back then.
That's amazing, and I think that's important for the conventional military and for, like, the special forces
Yeah.
to cross-pollinate or to collaborate, like you said, and every now and then they do, like, CSOR, for example, will come and run a range,
Yeah.
or someone will facilitate something between the 2 units.
Yeah,
I think that's so good for us.
it is. And like that line needs to be grayed out a little. That
What do you mean by that?
that transition or that information sharing needs to be a little bit smoother.
Yeah,
It shouldn't be people not wanting to ask the question because they don't want to get told no. It
right.
should be, oh, I'll just ask these guys, and if they tell me, they tell me. But that relationship just needs to be a little bit less rigid.
That's a fascinating that I totally agree. And I think it speaks to sometimes the attitude of the organization. If you have a very learning attitude, then you're likely to demonstrate, I think, those kind of behaviors
Yeah.
of wanting to network, of wanting to build connections and to collaborate because it's in our principles of war, right? Economy of effort.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I want to collaborate with a unit that is arguably doing an advanced levels, arguably,
Yeah.
of what we're doing and get them to come down and show us some stuff because having interesting training is also important for our guys.
Yeah.
And every now and then to do something like that, it's fun, it's engaging, it's enlightening.
It is.
Enlightening, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not like, pulling back the curtain and showing you all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just information sharing on, training or, SOPs that are going to just enable you a little bit better. It's nothing super secret. Anyways, so finished basic sniper, Tracy, Dave, and I go to the group, and Bruce, being who he is, he's like, this is not where a sniper should live. So he made the decision, petitioned the CO, and 1RCR was the first sniper group to break from Recce.
No way.
Yeah.
This is historical.
Yeah. So where they are now in 1RCR
Yeah.
has to be a mortar platoon.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Take a hike, mortar platoon.
we ended up occupying that area.
Wow.
Still under Echo Company, but as a separate entity. So
That's a big deal.
it was, yeah. And it meant a lot of things, right? Like we had our own vault. We had our own DA, so we could order our own equipment.
Wow.
Yeah. So again, this is where he was
You're your own real entity.
for the first time. And he kind of guided where the group was or the section group is gonna be now. And kind of how it grew into what it is here and at 1RCR and 1, 2, 3 and VP. And the Vandu, they already pretty much had that nut cracked.
What do you mean?
They're awesome, right? Like having all 3 battalions in one place, the cross-pollination.
Right.
Because even here in Petawawa, back then, or maybe even now, there's some animosity between 1 and 3.
Yeah.
It just is the way it is. But there, when snipers would train, all the snipers went and trained. When we used to shoot against them in CISC in Gagetown, the Canadian International Sniper Concentration, like you didn't even know if that shooter and spotter team were from the same battalion, and it didn't matter.
Wow.
They all trained together.
They were so integrated.
Yeah. So you want
economy of effort.
There it is. Yeah. So, but they were still at that time part of their recce platoons. Just a more seamless.
But what they were doing there demonstrated another level or a higher level of cooperation, economy of effort that can be achieved. And I think that's so important.
Yes.
Because you said something earlier in this conversation, and I think that being a sniper is its own identity.
Yep.
And without the Hollywood stuff to it, I'm talking about the attributes, the character profile, the way their decision making is structured.
Yeah.
Right? These are incredible concepts that are important for them being problem solvers, independent problem solvers, and hardcore tickets, man. Like inserting people in very high risk situations with very minimal support takes an exceptional character,
Yeah.
right, of a person with a good level of internal discipline.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a huge fan of sniper.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up with this idea. I never ever went down that path, but I'm just fascinated to be able to talk to somebody who at the time, especially in the RCR, that's a huge pivoting moment for the sniper community. It was to branch off. And you got to tell me how you did it without having an officer. Because like every platoon has one and you guys don't.
No. So we make the split. We deploy to Kosovo, 99.
Wow. As your own sniper entity now.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
we did some very interesting stuff. There was no kinetic activity. Nobody was doing any shooting. We came close with the riots in Mitrovica. So
Can you talk about that?
Yeah. The Albanians and the Serbs were divided by a river. The French Marines were there. That was their AOR. So there was a gold mine that was in question on the Serb side. I'd have to read the history books again to get the whole context, but basically the Albanians were coming to Mitrovica to kick the Serbs out.
Okay.
Even though the river divided the town,
Mm-hmm.
that was still their town. 60,000 people showed up.
Wow.
To that riot. Yeah.
60,000.
Yeah. It was crazy. If you go back in the history books or old videos, you'll see the 1 RCR Pioneer Platoon, big bearded ZZ2, all the guys. Yeah. They were on the bridge. We were there. Rec Platoon was there. I can't remember what company was there. But infantry company was there. And we tried to, figure it out, help them figure it out with the French. The British were there. But as we were packing and getting in our Grizzlies to go to Mitrovica, the British Royal Green Jackets, RGJ, snipers shot a guy on the bridge.
Okay.
And we're like, okay, this is it. This is game on, right? Like, this is the first time
we're in combat.
Yeah. And we get there the next day and we're doing a handover with the Brits, the RGJ. And again, just having that experience to do some like cross-pollination with another sniper group, even just looking at their pairing, number 1 and number 2. So their number 1, the shooter, they had their L1, I think it was, their sniper rifle.
Okay.
The number 2 carried a C6.
Interesting.
Yeah,
C6.
A C6.
A GPMG.
Yeah.
Wow.
What is that? He says, no, that's how we do it. Like, if we need to break contact, then this is what's doing it.
We're laying down firepower. Wow.
That's crazy.
That's like contrary to everyone's idea of breaking contact. Be light. Be as light as possible.
Time and space.
Right.
But they're firepower.
Interesting.
And that's just how they were training at the time.
What were you thinking? Were you like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. How were you infilling into these places? Because prior to this Mitrovica, Dave and I had an OP to overwatch some Albanian, what they call the Kosovo Liberation Army, KLA. And like we infilled over 5K. So up through a re-entrant onto a goat path, and then across some fields, jumped over some low rock walls, set up our OP. Like, how did they do that with a C6?
Yeah.
We were out there for 3 days and we were heavy. And then add a C6 and ammo with that. Ooh. So anyways, yeah, it was
some hard tickets for them to do that.
It was interesting to pick their brains a little bit. Canadian Sniper program at its earliest inception was obviously based on the British program. Just because of those connections.
So what was it like deploying? I'm sorry, I know like there's probably more to the story of the riot, but what was it like for you guys to deploy as snipers, and how did you have the ability to network and have freedom of movement to go and link up with these other sniper elements
Not so
Were you thinking about doing that?
not as like Corporal Cullen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was focused on like everything that me and Dave had to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kit, equipment, when we had tasks, making sure we were prepped. Even when there was one time we went to Pristina, I believe it was. Pristina, the capital
Mm-hmm.
there. And we were chatting with some Brits, but I think Bruce was probably off, like
Doing that.
yeah, where we were more just like checking shit out.
Yeah.
Because when the back of a warrior, this is pretty cool, you know, compared to a grizzly.
Good times.
Yeah. But that was a good learning evolution too.
Okay.
And that's the last time that we deployed in pairs.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because the next deployment was, well, my next deployment was 2003, Roto Zero, Afghanistan.
What was that like?
That was not my best tour,
Why?
to be honest. Yeah. And I don't want it to come across, but so it was the 3RCR was the battle group. So all the augmentation came from one.
Interesting.
So some of the guys in the sniper group, 1RCR sniper group, got attached to the 3RCR group to bring their numbers up. I was a master corporal at that time, so they didn't need any more deck commanders. They needed like,
Was that what your job was? No.
Yeah.
You were a deck commander.
correct. So I didn't,
Deck commander means you're in charge of a pair.
a pair. Yeah.
Are you the third person then, or are you one of the two?
One of the two. You're the number two.
Okay.
The number two is usually the senior guy in the pair, or in the group of four
Mm-hmm.
that it is now. But they didn't need any more of those. And the RSM called me up to his office, and he's like, I got a shitty task for you.
I got a shitty task.
Yeah.
At least he was up front.
He was super upfront. It was, I wish I could remember which RSM it was, but he was very open.
Yeah.
He's like, headquarters in SIGs needs like a DNS guy.
Okay.
And I'm like, what do you mean? So it's like they're putting up an RRB on top of TV Tower Hill, which was the hill, the two mountain peaks, hill peaks that separated Kabul. So the RRB was going to go right up there. So it was going to be a signal sergeant, master corporal, and then RRB crew of, I think, 5 or 6 more people. And then me,
Mm-hmm.
the lone infanteer.
Just one guy.
Just me.
Really?
Yeah, it was a little unnerving at first. So I had my sniper rifle up there. We had some support weapons.
Solo sniper mission.
Well,
In a way, like as an individual,
yeah,
you don't have your number two.
yeah. Again, I mean, I had all the SIGs people,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not their job.
Right.
They're running the radios. They're more interested in like antennas and waveform, and you know. So I ended up being like the go-to for the locals. So in the middle of the two hills was a ANA group, AMF, sorry, the militia force. So like Mujahideen dudes.
Right. What are they wearing?
Plain clothes, rocking AKs.
Oh, shit.
Yep. And they controlled that gate. So to get up to us, you had to come through their gate. So anytime there was a problem, they would come to me because I carried all the guns. And they thought my name was a position. We always used our first names up there because we didn't want them to know our last names. So I was just Gord. So the mullah or whoever would come up to the camp, bang on the door that led into the kitchen for the RRB. The RRB was housed in an old restaurant up top the hill. And then he'd be like, we need to see the Gord. Yeah. So it was weird.
This guy just saying it intently. Yep. I need to see the gourd.
Yeah. And they'd have a problem, right? Like one of the times
the
RCDs came up. Normally when you came to visit the hill, you had to go through your ops, obviously. You just
can't just go.
Just don't come here.
Yeah.
But it goes through ops, and then they call up and they give us a time, frame that they're coming up. Even when the Governor General came up, there was like calls were made. We knew who's coming so that we could tell those guys that there's people coming.
Mm-hmm.
Let them through. So the RCD showed up, 2 coyotes, no lead up. And like, there's one coyote facing up the other hill because that's where they lived up there, up on that side. And there's one stuck at the gate. And then these guys have an RPG in the low ground pointing at the coyote. And we're like, this is not going to go well.
You're observing all of this.
Yeah, well, we saw them come up because it's a number of switchbacks, right? It takes a while to get up there. So I'm making my way down as like the warrant, the RCD warrant is trying to like knife hand the AMF guy, and he's not happy. He doesn't care. And you're not going to intimidate that guy. You just, who knows how many conflicts this guy's been through. So then I get down there and like they're very handsy, right? So he's holding my hand, dragging me over to talk to this warrant and, try to de-escalate this situation within the next 5 minutes. The guy with the RPG is going to shoot it at the coyote and it all hell's going to go like loose here. Meanwhile, back up on the top of the hill, there's a warrant up there now, is radioing down saying like, who are these guys? Why are they here? Get on their net, get them the hell out of here.
Right.
But again, the warrant that was there is not having it. And I'm just a master corporal. And I'm like, you got to leave.
And the Afghans are coming over to you.
Yeah.
With like, yo, get the gourd.
Yeah.
Gourd, get your boy in check.
Yeah.
This guy's losing his mind. We're going to shoot an RPG at him. Like, what?
This is it, So
That's crazy.
finally get the warrant cooled down because he had it in his head. He can just go wherever the hell he wants.
Right.
Like, no buts, like, not here.
Oh, man.
Anywhere over here? Anywhere you want to go over to Camp Julian? Go to Camp Julian.
Yeah.
Don't come up here. So managed to get that de-escalated, got those guys mounted back up, sent them back down the hill, and then, had to write a fairly long after action, send them back down, and then go down and have tea with the mullah to get him back down. I always liked their tea. It was very good. Yeah, it was good.
That's awesome. That's incredible.
It was, a lot of like for a master corporal, even though there was senior people on the hill,
Yeah.
like that's your job. You're,
But you knew how to take charge.
Yeah. So it was that again, like independent,
Yeah.
growing period. Did all the liaison with the Dwari Hill guys, right? Because if we became isolated, we needed an escape plan.
Right.
So they came up and they were like, again, awesome mentors, instructors, right? They're like, what's your E&E plan? Hi.
You have one.
Yeah. We're going to fight in place and die.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna develop a plan for you.
Right.
We were supposed to rehearse it, but we just never did. So, over a few days, those guys like educated me on how to come up with like not so much a DAR plan, designated area rescue, but very similar to where there's a trigger and then there's some control points and then there's a recovery area. So it was like excellent knowledge being passed and learning, and then kind of laying that out for the rest of the people on the hill. So everybody knew their job. We would do like monthly weapons classes, just make sure everybody was competent and they were good. They were super focused and keen on learning those things and being a part of the security of the hill. But ultimately, like that's not their job.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But you're empowering your team.
Yeah.
Like right there's leadership. And for you, from your background and maybe some of it naturally your character as well, that just speaks so highly to how effective a person from the infantry can be, especially from the sniper community. And with the amount of investments that's made into your training, it's testing their independence, which therefore is speaking to their ability to make decisive decisions, which are critical assessments and in a timely manner.
Yeah.
And you saw that something needed to be done. Otherwise, Joe Blow down there ain't going to have many wheels left on that coyote or whatever you rolled up in. And
who knows what the reaction would be.
right, right. This could have fucking blown so traumatically out of proportion.
Right through the roof.
Yeah, and like for you to make a decision there where no one told you to do it, but you knew what had to be done. Otherwise, this could go real bad.
Super self.
That's incredible. So for that deployment experience, you're like meeting JTF2 snipers and like, I know you said you had your mentor in the platoon, Bruce, but was this your first time now working with these people?
Yeah.
And like you said, they must have been very enlightening for them to be like educating you and mentoring you there.
Yeah, it was like I always try to look at everything as like a opportunity
Yeah.
to learn. Um, so that was 2003. It was a long tour. I came off that hill 3 times in
Whoa.
the whole tour.
You
So,
were up there for that long at a time?
yeah, 3 times. One of those was to go home for HLTA. Well, the other time was to go home.
So pretty austere.
Yeah. Yeah, we got paid a little extra. Our hardship allowance was maxed out up there.
Oh, that's the first time I heard of somebody in a sub area of Afghanistan getting a higher level of hardship.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
For the longest time, first 2 months, maybe 3 months.
Because you guys were protecting the RRB?
Yeah.
Wow.
There was 2 Germans up there. I shouldn't take that away from them. 2 German signalers.
Okay.
I never once saw them carry a weapon, so I'm assuming they
Yeah,
had weapons, but
yeah.
yeah, they were up there as well.
How did you feel about the team after they started to get more involved in, like, I guess, taking responsibility for security?
There was some like really go-to guys, right? Like
Like,
if I knew that like things were gonna go south,
yeah,
then I knew that these 3 people
yeah,
are the ones that I'm gonna grab, and I'm gonna be able to give them tasks.
right.
But the others, were they needed to stay grouped together more.
Yeah.
Wasn't that their capability was less. It's just their like stress management was poor.
And to effectively manage these people, you just needed to have more of a tighter control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then being that guy and having a warrant up there too. So and another master corporal, 2 more master corporals. So kind of having to like be in a leadership role without stepping on people's personalities.
Right.
Yeah.
Now it's like diplomatic.
Yeah. Like telling another, equally qualified in rank person that like you don't do that.
Yeah.
This is you're gonna get people killed. Don't do this. And then say that and in a way that is more descriptive and understanding than me trying to bully you. So treat that situation as a learning environment as well. This is what you're doing. This is what it's going to cause. This is how we're going to remedy it. And this is the benefits that are going to come from it.
So you were taking the time to like pull people to the side, having a conversation about what the problem is.
Yeah.
And just like break it out for them.
Yeah.
That's an important thing to do to handling at the lowest levels.
Yeah. And I think it's something I carried on like throughout.
Mm-hmm.
So we came back from that one. That was a 9-month tour. 2003. So 2005, we were running a basic sniper course in Meaford because we got kicked out of the training area because everybody's ramping up for Afghanistan, which, made total sense. So we went to Meaford. We're carrying on with the basic sniper, and we had the unfortunate ness of one of the students hung himself. So
One of the candidates?
yeah,
Damn.
yeah, 3RCR guy actually. He would have been the top candidate. Like he was screaming.
Wow.
Yeah, really good guy. It was a personal stuff that he was working through. And he just didn't have any other solutions, I guess. So because of that, we've had to pause for the SIU investigation, other little things. And by the time we got the course restarted, there was snow on the ground. So everybody failed. There was no successful candidates because you can't take a basic sniper who doesn't fully understand the principles of camouflage and tactical movement,
Right.
and put them in snow and say, no, do that in snow.
Right.
Yeah, that's an advanced skill. Being able to stalk in the winter is advanced.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we ended up, Omar Lavoy was the SEAL.
Yo.
So he got us set up in Benning.
Fort Benning.
Yeah, at the U.S. Army Sniper School.
Interesting.
So the staff and a couple of the GDs went I'm going to say 3 weeks early, and got set up in their vault. Did a bunch of recce's of the stock lanes that we had to redo, the ranges that we had to use, and then part of setting up a course is proving all the things, right?
Right.
So that when the candidates come, it's achievable.
Right.
How do you know? Because we did it.
You tested it.
And what the fun part about this was, the U.S. Army Sniper School guys were super interested in our program.
Really?
Because we produce world-class shooters, right? Snipers, not even just shooters. So can we come out? And we're like, yeah, you can, because we know what their stocks look like. We did a couple of theirs.
And how would you describe theirs?
Theirs are good. I mean, their program is solid, right? It's proven.
Mm.
They run serial after serial. They get good results. But for example, their stock, the OP is 2 guys sitting in the back of a flatbed truck. I think there's a table, and I think they can rest their arms on it. But what you do as a student is you walk from the truck out 1,000 meters, and then turn around, and somebody says go, and now you have to start back towards so you've already seen all the ground.
Mm.
You already know the direction of, they're behind you. They stalked in the woods, forested areas, heavily wooded areas. We're like, oh, this is different.
So that gives you more of an advantage for concealment for the
Huge.
candidate?
For us, because we do it the other way,
Right.
huge advantage, right? For us, we go to an administrative area. That's usually the start point. We're given a 6-figure grid where the OP is out there.
Right.
We have no idea. They could be in low ground. They could be beside a rock. They could be somewhat camouflaged. We don't know. We don't even know who it is.
Right. There's
Yeah.
so much more unknown, which makes it more challenging for a candidate
Yeah.
because they have to make decisions that are gonna.
Yeah, route
Here-
selection.
yeah.
You choose a route, and if it's not good, then you need to figure out how to get yourself out of that trouble. When you're walking away from the OP, it's like, oh, no, I'm not going to go over there. It's a little, the woods are a little dense or less dense over there. There's no cover over here. I'm not going to go over there. So I'm not going to say easier. Nothing's easier. It's just
Right.
different.
Just different.
Yeah. So they came out on one of our stocks, the instructor cadre, and it was a Canadian stock. So it was an open area, a bit of undulating terrain with some low cover and medium cover, no woods. So some thicker bushes, tall grass, some small hills. And they all failed.
Wow.
It's and it was fine that they failed. They understood that, right? It's a little,
Right.
yeah.
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Under these conditions.
Yeah.
Right.
And
And that's our standard.
That's our standard.
Right. And you were demonstrating that, and it's like,
Yeah.
but at the same time, they have a good program, and it's
Great
not to
program.
take away from that.
Yeah.
But the standard of what you guys or what the Canadian Sniper program is currently using is it is much more challenging conditions.
Yeah. I'd say by the 3rd stock that we were proving, a couple of them passed.
Wow. Okay.
So they did adapt and learn.
Right.
They're qualified snipers. They know what they need to do.
Right.
But it was humbling.
Interesting. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Because at that point, you're a professional in what you do, being an instructor cadre, and so then going out there with a coalition ally
Yeah.
and not passing, you're like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Getting busted at
let's run it again.
800 meters out. Yeah.
Wow.
So we ran that serial there, which is how but when I became the UMS.
Okay.
So
Do you think that led to it?
no.
Okay.
Well, maybe. We had good success down there. Things went well. The guy that was in the seat as the UMS, I think he went and got put forward as a platoon warrant. So again, the UMS position was sergeant back then. So when we came back from Benning, I moved into the master sniper seat, and then went on the advanced sniper course with Jody and Jim, which ended up being my 2 deck commanders. And then we deployed on 306, which was eye-opening.
Why?
Well, of the group, I was the only one with any. What do you think of my group before I start slagging it? Yeah, I was the only one with any sniper experience.
Operationally?
Kosovo, right?
Mm.
Everybody else, like Jim was a sergeant, Jody was a master corporal, and then it was just corporals. Two of them had just came through the basic sniper course.
Mm.
So 3 of them. Wow. 3 of them had just come through that serial that we had in Benning. Nope, 2. Sorry.
So you were the most experienced?
Yeah. So when we got there and we're getting the handover from the Patricias, we're like, okay, we need to change how we've been doing stuff.
And they were just in combat on their rotation.
Yeah. It just timing. Everything got fired up at the end of their tour. Like whatever hornet's nest got poked, that's where it happened. So as we're transitioning into taking over, we're listening to some of the engagements that they've had, what not to do, what to do, what to try to maintain. And we're like, okay, so 2-man teams are no longer.
What did they say?
Survivability. Like where we were used to being able to operate in an OP for 3 days.
Yeah.
Take 2 days off that.
Really?
Like if you get through 48 hours, then you did good. Because like in Kosovo, Bosnia, Iraq even.
Yeah.
You watch TV, you listen to the radio, you do social things. For the Afghans in the area that we were working, there's no TV. If you have a radio, you're a wealthy person. They had their phones and stuff, but their entertainment was like watching their surroundings. So if you're an OP or you're trying to establish yourself in an OP and you change the smallest thing, then they're either going to come and look and see what's going on, or they're just going to say, screw it, and launch a couple mortar bombs at you. See what happens. So there was like the Patricias are telling us about time they were trying to get up the side of a mountain and they're setting up in their OP and they moved some rocks around. And I think one of them had a cape out. And suddenly they're getting mortared. They're like, okay, we're done. Back we go.
Wow.
And then this is the first, like, Roto Zero in Kabul. There was some rocket fire here and there. There's some ambushes. Unfortunately, some guys got killed and wounded from IEDs, but the scale was now, 200% bigger.
Wow. It was much more intense.
We're in Patrol Base Wilson. We're in G-Wagons, sleeping in canvas tents. And the Sergeant Major, the outgoing Patricia Sergeant Major, is like, well, we haven't been mortared in a number of days. We think they're low on ammo, but we've never been mortared, twice in a day, and they usually don't mortar us at night. So the next day, we got mortared, like the camp. So you have
Is it Bob Wilson?
Patrol Base Wilson.
Patrol Base Wilson.
Yeah. So we were just visitors to the camp. We didn't have any, role.
Yeah.
To play for its local protection at the time. So all we would do is get inside the G-Wagon.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd hear the pop and you'd count like maybe 6 seconds. And then you'd hear the woof on the outside of the camp. You're like, that one missed. And then you'd hear the pop. And then the next one's in the camp. And now people are wounded and being taken over the UMS. Then you hear the pop. And there's people outside running around. And then fortunately, like the next one that in that instance missed the camp. You're just waiting for the next one to come back in the camp. But you're sitting in a G-Wagon. What do you do?
I'm just waiting.
You're just waiting. So after that, we started playing a more active role in the camp. Like we talked to the camp sergeant major. We said, if this happens again, we're going to go up to these places of elevation. We're going to look for spotters or people on the phone.
You want to feel like you're at least being proactive and not so vulnerable.
Yeah. Like get in the fight.
Yeah, it's what a shitty feeling just fucking waiting there.
Yeah.
Waiting for this thing to either land right on you.
Yeah.
Or like right next to you, where it's either way is going to be real bad.
I don't know how many tires we changed in that camp.
Wow.
Like
just from the indirect fire.
Yeah. Our G-Wagon got peppered. There's pockmarks all on the windows. Yeah.
I'll never forget my sergeant, one of my sergeants in like 2010. I was on my DP1 course or QL3.
Yeah.
And he was a reserve guy from the RHLI, but he did one of those earlier deployments. And I want to say it was like '05, maybe it was '06.
Yeah.
But he got blown up in a G-Wagon and
Yeah.
his chest is all scarred up real good. And I remember him telling me after he said, according to his deployment rotation, they stopped using G-Wagons
Yeah.
and for good reason.
That was our tour, yeah.
Yeah.
So halfway, 3/4 of the way, halfway through our tour, the G-Wagons got sidelined. Recce platoon was also in G-Wagons. They ended up going into RGs. And then we just started flying everywhere. We didn't want any more cars.
Being more air mobile.
Yeah.
Wow.
It just made more sense for us. We're a small group. We can fit into like little packets here and there.
Yeah.
No big deal. So
sorry, can you explain how is it like to balance that? Like, is the land force mounted and you guys are air mobile as snipers? And like, how would you? Because I'm just trying to envision keeping up with a mounted force. Or you just kind of situated and doing kind of routes that allow you to cover them?
For that tour outside of Medusa, when Charles Company went across the river,
Yeah.
like there was no, like we'd catch a ride in the back of a lav. There's a few times, when we were doing or patrolling, we'll call it, hunting. Our infill was the back of a lav in a column. So if 2 platoon is going out to do a patrol of a route, then we would fit ourselves into the back of one of them and pick a lazy corner that they have to slow down for, where they would just lower the ramp and we just hop out the back. A lot of the time we just walk back in, or it wasn't as hard as it sounds. Like AOR was pretty small. Like if we needed to go from Spurwingar to Strong Point West, then that was a helicopter ride to Patrol Base Wilson, pop in with Bravo Company, they take us down to Strong Point West. And then everything we did out of that area was on foot. Even 2010, we were still like air mobile. But if we needed to get into the AOR, we could hop a ride. But again, most of the time the guys were walking out.
Wow.
Yeah. Like 3 o'clock in the morning out the back gate or a side gate.
How long was like the longest patrol you did, distance wise, you think?
2006 would have been the longer patrols, and probably about 5K out. It was in support of Objective Eskimo. So it was they're going to plow a new route that paralleled the Argandab from east to west. And A Company, which was the PPCLI company that supported, like as part of our group, our battalion battle group, that was their task. I mean, they had tanks in support, but we projected out the night before they were going to start moving. So we did a very long infill at night. Recce platoon came up to a certain point, and then they went firm and kind of made a screen. And when we went past them, through them, and then out to where our tentative OP location was going to be, and then we basically sat on the objective. So where that road was going to end, we were already there. And we would report on like Taliban or bad guy movement, locals, what are they doing once the road starts getting plowed. If we see any reinforcements, obviously we're going to take care of those guys. But they stopped plowing, which was really disappointing. So that they're hitting too many IEDs. They're running into too many delays and problems. So they just said, no, we're not doing it. And they dropped.
Well,
unfortunately, that was during the day and everybody was being pulled back in. So that just about everything we did was at night. If we had to move, if we went somewhere, it's always at night. But now we're having to come back during the day. And that is like not good. Like you're more visible. There's only 4 of us. There was 5 of us out that time. There's way more risk, right? Like we can't move with that same impunity during the day as we can at night. So we came out of that compound, guns up, scared the shit out of 2 teenagers that were around the corner, to the point where they collapsed, right?
Wow.
We came out aggressive. Like we're gonna move hard and fast,
Mm-hmm.
and make it back to Recce, and then we'd all move back. But there's nothing between us and them, like for good guys. So
You're on your own.
guns up, bursting out of that compound. They collapsed, and we're like, okay, they're gonna run probably 3 blocks from here until all the bad guys
Mm.
are here. That we're here. So now we need to move. So we managed to make good time.
Mm-hmm.
Rucks on.
How do you feel at that point? Like it's up. Like they're on their way to go tell everyone.
It's coming.
How'd you feel? Do you remember?
Just not anxious, but motivated.
Okay.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Like it's on.
Yeah. And then it just got compounded. So we're making good time. We know our time and space is good, which is the key to any kind of like evasion. So create that time space gap. And then we're walking along next to a large, tall wall, and this sonic boom pops on us. And that's probably the closest I've ever come to having a heart attack.
Wow.
So what it was, because they didn't tell us anything on our net, whether they just assumed the French Mirage knew what he is doing.
Is that a fighter jet?
Yeah. So a lot of the time what they would do is a show of force.
Mm.
So this fucking Mirage, unbeknownst to us, was plunging on us like in a bomb run, but just doing a show of force. And then what they would do is when they get near you over top, they pop back up, and it creates like
An effect.
Yeah,
A loud effect.
Yeah, it was disturbing.
And you guys didn't expect it, so it must have been scary. Like, yeah.
Like everybody just took a knee for a second. Like, oh,
Holy shit.
get on the radio. Hey, like tell whatever JTAC's running that Mirage that we're the good guys. Yeah, we're okay. So fuck off.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
At this point, was this before or after the friendly fire incident?
After.
This is after.
Yeah.
So, oh man, even considering that event happening where the A10
Yeah.
incident occurred, and then for that to come in, oh my God, you would have been like, holy shit, I don't want to be the next incident.
Like, and we dressed different, right? Like we didn't have helmets on. We had like ball caps.
Right.
We had our sniper smocks, which were still Canadian CADPAT, but they looked different.
Right.
Our bags weren't Canadian issue. They're can't remember the brand name, but they weren't what you would expect to see on a and then there was only 5 of us. We weren't a platoon, which is generally the size of group that would be moving over there. So yeah,
there's a lot of reasons why you could be mistaken for not being the good guys.
Yes.
When things are getting crazy on the ground.
Yeah. So that's that story. That's the longest exfil. So the longest one we did. I think the biggest thing we learned as snipers, aside from, because you can all shoot, you can all do the basic skills, right? Shoot, move, communicate, just to a very high level.
Mm-hmm.
But it was getting that exposure, like to war. So, up Medusa, we know the bad guys are over there. We know the good guys are over here. They're going to go over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened. But that's like the first time we started seeing people die, and that we first started killing people. Like, and it wasn't always with our own guns, right? So a couple days into Medusa, we were watching to the west for squirters, people leaving the area. And, there's a group of 15 evenly spaced armed people moving just after last light.
Mm.
We can see them, and we're like, fire mission. So we called in the fire mission on the center of the group, killed them all. We're like, oh, that's that.
Mm-hmm. This is the real deal now.
This is what we do.
Yeah.
So guys got really good at it. calling in fire missions at the drop of a hat. Lays it, bearing grid, the verbal diarrhea over the radio.
Incredible.
So fast.
To be able to wield that kind of power.
Yeah.
It's like the power of like God, coming from the sky and just leveling devastating effects on the ground where you feel it.
Yeah.
From such a distance.
There was one, there was me and Hooley and B. We're out working at a strong point west, and we came across some bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're in a compound. So there's 3 of us. Only 2 of us have carbines. The other guy has the 338. And we're like, there's at least 2 of them in there. So sounds terrible. That's not a fair gunfight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we want to have, if there's 2 of them in there, we want to be 4. If there's 5 of them there, we want to be 10.
An overwhelming ratio.
Yeah. Like that's to mitigate that risk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we're not JTF2, CSOR, Delta. We're not those guys. We don't have those carbine skills.
Mm-hmm.
We're good, but that's not our baseline.
Right.
So, an A-10 happened to be in the area. So we worked through the Bravo Company JTAC. That guy came over, confirmed the targets, and there was more than 2 guys in there. And we're like, okay, cool. You do your thing. He's like, I'm out of fuel. Like
the A-10.
Yeah, I'm bingo for fuel. We're like, oh. So he had to go off station to refuel, which meant he's going to be like an hour.
So what did that mean for you? Next decision?
Yeah.
Mexico?
Yeah. He was just working through them, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, we were good. A-10's going to drop bombs or do a gun run on this guy. We're happy. And he's gone. These guys are still in here. We can't risk them coming out or being reinforced. So obviously there's nothing else in the airspace. So we pulled back 100 meters from the compound, maintained eyes on. One of the big things like back in those days was no unobserved artillery, right? Collateral damage. So we had to make sure that we had visual contact with the compound and as many exits out of it as we could. So pulled back 100 meters, called in a fire mission. Spur had all the guns at that time. So there's 4 M777s sitting in Spur. They didn't like my grid because it was too close. We were 100 meters from the target.
Wow.
So the lethal range of a M777 is 100 meters. Or we're in it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's not.
They're like that's danger close. We're going to push it 100 meters west, which was had for us. We're looking east.
For anybody listening who doesn't understand like indirect fire here, or just like ordnance in general, whether it's a grenade or 155 round, there's a lethal radius and then there's like a danger radius. And so you guys are well within the lethal radius, which meant that the gun line was saying that no, just to mitigate further risk to you guys, we're going to drop the center of this fire mission further away because that should hopefully provide the same effects you want.
Yeah.
But good on them. And that's the process of working together.
So that's still in the books considered danger close. So now the grid that they're going to use is 200 meters from us.
Right. But still danger fucking close.
So I gave them they always ask for a ground commander's name and approval.
Right.
I'm saying this is good. So I gave it.
Because now you're consenting to the risk.
Yeah.
Right.
They just fire 1 round, right? They're not going to fire 4 guns on their initial grid. They fire like the M777s, and then those guys are super good. It was bang on where they said it was going to go.
Wow.
So I was like, drop 100. Back to the original grid. And they're like, okay.
And they know what you're doing.
Yeah. So they dropped 100, and that thing came down, I don't know, 40 meters from the compound.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah. So I'm like, target round, fire for effect.
What did that feel like?
That was unnerving because I know that was just 1 gun firing 1 round, and that shook the ground. Now 4 guns, and when they came back, it said 4 rounds fire for effect. So that's 4 guns firing 4 rounds 100 meters from us. That was probably like the scariest moment. Like getting shot at, cool, blown up. It happens, but I did this to myself.
Right.
And not only that, the other 2 guys that are with me, I just, that's
Put them at risk.
sorry, fellas.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
4 rounds, came in and demolished that compound.
Yeah.
Completely dummied it. It was just nothing left. Like I was forcing my eyes to stay open as the rounds were coming in, because you can feel them, you feel the ground. And then once the impacts start happening, you just fucking bury your head.
Holy shit.
We had good cover.
Yeah.
Like we were going to be safe. I had
A
confidence.
genuine feeling.
Yeah. I mean, the mud walls and buildings that they had were solid. So as long as nothing physically landed on us, we're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
We go into it's all over. So
Mm-hmm.
we let the dust settle and we go forward to do a BDA, battle damage assessment. And it's all everybody's
Rubble.
Yeah. And the A-10 comes back on station, and he'd marked the target location. He said, yeah, I'd say that was because I called in his successful fire mission.
And he just confirmed it
Yeah,
with
like
visual.
There's a crater 2 feet from the original target grid. Like, okay, deal.
What an incredible experience. Like, just to break down that whole experience, like you getting up as close as you did, taking on like quite a bit of risk to identify the target, right? Because that's a big part of all this.
Yeah.
Like, to take away from this story, as incredible as it is, you got up there so you could get that PID,
Yeah.
that positive identification, because of what you're about to engage with, fuck, the amount of destruction and devastation coming down that way.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you're going to get the right guys.
It was a lot. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But what an experience to be feeling physically that effect. Like, I've been through lower ordnance experiences,
Yeah.
but nothing like that.
It was the shrapnel sounded like Harleys passing us.
Wow.
Yeah. Like just that.
What a violent.
Yeah. And we were happy when it was done.
Yeah. And just to walk through that.
Yeah.
Right after.
Well, what the SOP or what we'd seen in the past was, as soon as something like that happens,
Yeah.
then like the bad guys come out and
Right.
check it out. Especially if they knew they had guys there, they're going to come and see what happened.
Right.
So after we sent in the BDA, we found a low spot and we hung out to see if anybody came and investigated. And nobody came. We didn't.
Wow.
I wouldn't go anywhere near that place after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a few interesting events like that.
That's incredible. So, sir, like, when you look back at your Afghan experiences, how would you describe the difference between your 306 trip and your 110 trip? Because you were filling the same position, correct?
Yeah.
So how would you describe that?
306 was different in a number of ways. 306, I injected myself into a debt. I took a debt because of Op Medusa. So our 2 4-man teams plus me became 3 3-man teams.
Because you knew the scale of the mission?
We couldn't support it all. And we never can, but we try to maximize the support we can give. And then throughout that tour, I injected myself in the patrols a number of times. 110 was much different in that, we couldn't just drop bombs on a compound anymore. Like all the people back in 2006, most of them, like the good people, had moved away. And it was just really the bad people left. 110, the whole place had been repopulated. So you can't drop like 4 rounds of 155.
Right.
Because it's gonna kill people that don't need to.
The collateral damage is now being way more restricted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where we used other people's guns more in 306, 110 was much more just us shooting people and reporting on that stuff. Also, the 2 teams of 4 were able to operate as those teams. I still would go to like the tactical infrastructure, like Ball Peen, and I'd hang out with Barry's det or Spur and hang out with B's det, and then kind of move those chess pieces around the AOR to provide the support. And then I would hang out in camps like Shoja. I spent weeks and weeks in Shoja.
What are you doing? Networking?
Yeah. So making sure I'm up on all the orders, listening to the radio traffic, getting the int reps, kind of lean forward on like what's the next move for snipers, like where anytime something happens, it's almost too late, right? You need to be able to forecast where the guys are going to be needed based on the threat. Sometimes it's totally reactionary because ball peen was getting ripped up daily. Like, yeah, needed to have snipers there to help them out.
Mm.
And it for the most part, it works.
Are you being tasked, or you have the freedom to make these decisions
Yeah.
and kind of react or respond?
The CO is a number of times he'll give direction. He's like, these are the things that are happening, and I need you to come up with a plan to fix it. Like, there's way too many IEDs here. Go find out who's doing that and then take care of them. So we, go to Bravo Company. With the det would go out. They do some exploratory patrolling. They'd set up OPs, watch the ground, develop pattern in life, find out who's laying the IEDs, and then take care of them. I would just stay, like when I was in Bravo Company's camp, if there was nothing to do, I'd go up in the tower. I'd take the 50 cal up in the tower and then let the guy who was on the C6 have some time off. And I would do the same, right? I'd observe. I'd make sure I stayed in tune with the pattern of life. What are the locals wearing? What are they doing? Whose fields? And I had a number of like solid engagements from that tower.
Wow.
Just for like being there, like putting yourself like out there, right?
Yeah.
Like the dets are out there doing their job. I'm going to go up there and see if there's anything I can help with. There's a couple times like 5 platoon or, other Bravo Company elements are doing patrols, and you pick up like there was one, I think it was 5 platoon, was just west of Shoja, and they were going to go north and then hook east. And while they were moving, I picked up some movement in the grape fields and ended up identifying like a machine gun team. So it was a PKM and another guy, AK. And I was able to engage them before they even came into range. So it was like a preemptive, I scared the hell out of the people in the camp because like snipers have a bit of latitude. Like I don't have to get on the radio and say I have, contact 2 guys in whatever grid. If I saw it, I had PID, it's a threat, I took care of it, and then I call it in. So everybody was just kind of going through their normal day. Right below the tower was the kitchen trailer. Like, so when I let the first round go, it's a 50 cal,
Right.
unsuppressed. I hate shooting that thing suppressed.
Why?
The recoil is just like numbing. So if I can shoot it unsuppressed, let the baffles do their job, then I'm happy. And I'm in the camp. Like, I'm not trying to be sneaky about this.
Yeah.
So it's a boom, right? Like, you've heard the 50 cal fire, probably the Macmillan. So yeah, everybody
Drops
below.
Yeah.
I'm not paying attention to them, so they're like scrambling, thinking that was incoming.
Yeah.
They thought the camp was being engaged, and then I fire the second round, and then like they start realizing, oh, it's coming from the top. Yeah, so interesting experiences, but that was the biggest differences. Dets of 4 got to operate as dets of 4. More individual interdiction. I think Barry's det was the only one that called in a fire mission on 110. And then, collateral damage, and then moving through. So a lot of the time in 306, when we'd move through Pandre, it was at night, but still there's not many people around. Now 110, when you're moving through, there's people everywhere.
A lot of the population returned.
Yeah. Like, again, Barry's det had a ball peen, went out and set up an OP in support of clearance.
Yeah.
And father and his son happened to like stroll into the grape hut there. And so they had to sit him down, and you're going to wait till we're done.
It changes the game on
Yeah.
you, eh? Wow. So like, when you consider that, I want to talk about the enemy here. How would you describe how the enemy adapted or changed between both the rotations?
So it's twofold. In 2006, when we first started engaging with the enemy, we had like what we call the A team. Like they were trained, were like competent with their weapon systems, knew how to fight.
Mm-hmm.
As that tour went on, we went through the B and C team. By the end of the 306, they were untrained fighters, like unregulated, had poor equipment.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it had been
Attrition was catching up to them.
exactly. Yeah, at 110, they'd had a chance to rebuild. So they for the most part were competent, and we weren't like attriting them at the same ratio.
Right, as before.
Yeah, we were dealing with like smaller groups of bad guys, and then not being able to like have that large amount of munitions drop on things, or that effect to scare the shit out of them. They were pretty bold. So that was the difference in those guys too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So like, how many deployments does that bring you to? Is that like your 4th deployment? That
110 would have been my 6th.
would have been your 6th deployment.
Yeah.
Wow. That would have been your 3rd Afghan.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's when I was trying to find out a little bit about your career, it was hard for anybody to hear it, for you not to be recognized as a very distinguished person in your career from being the sniper community. Someone who was a UMS on a deployment to Afghanistan, on a combat deployment, on multiple combat deployments. To me, that's unheard of. So this is a rare opportunity, and I think everybody listening here is very thankful and grateful that you came out here, put yourself in a vulnerable situation to share your service and your story. And I think we all appreciate it. I know anybody who's listening from my generation and the ones that come after me definitely appreciate it, because we can't relate. Like, I got in at a time where I was doing my DP1 while 110 was engaging, and where you guys were overseas already. So there's so much to take away from your service and your lessons learned. This has been such an incredible privilege for us on the team here. And I can't wait for everyone else to hear these lessons. Like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like the tip of the iceberg too,
Yeah.
There's so much to talk about. But sir, your time is valuable here. And, to kind of like hopefully wrap things up. And if you had a great experience, hopefully bring you back on again.
Perfect.
I did want to ask you about your contributions to CSOR. And from what I understood, that you got involved with their sniper program.
Yeah.
And what I understand is that what you did and the work you did is what pivoted them from doing Green Army Sniper to their own program.
No.
No? So let's back this up. Let's talk about your support to CSOR.
So 2016, I went to CSOR.
Right.
As a CFTPO. So as a warrant officer working at the leadership.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine who was the UMS at CSOR, and he's like, hey, I want to rewrite our training readiness manual, TRM. I'm like, okay, I can help with that.
Yeah.
I taught him on his basic course. So I have background.
What a network of relationships, eh?
So we started, for them,
yeah,
they had to do the Green Army Sniper first. And then they would do like soft training to get them up to speed with their weapon systems and what their mandates are, which is different from what a Green Army Sniper is.
Mm-hmm. How do you describe the difference?
More deliberate.
Okay.
I would say is the easiest way to say that.
Missions are very specific.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. Okay.
Yeah. A lot of, not all, but a lot of the stuff is more deliberate. Smaller teams, but integrated. So perhaps, the 4 snipers aren't off on their own. They're more integrated into a det that does a complete action.
Right. So are they wearing multiple hats?
They can be, yeah.
That sniper has a lot of different roles to play other than just providing the sniper capability?
Can be, yeah.
Right, okay.
So what we did was we rewrote that and then ran a test serial.
Okay.
So a 0 to hero CSOR sniper course. And there were some successes, but still some refinement, which is kind of what led to my posting there. So
and they saw the value of your contribution and they're like, yo, we got to keep this guy. He's great.
Yeah. I hope that's what they
said. The gourd.
Yeah. So I ended up going there 2017
yeah,
and became the sniper program manager.
Wow.
But a lot of that legwork was there. Again, the next 2 UMSs,
Yeah.
trying to shape that position. And my whole focus as the sniper program manager was like to look at the course to make sure the force generation was capable. Look at capability.
Because that's important, right? The force generation of the capability.
Yeah,
Because if you don't force generate them, the capability is at risk of dying.
yeah.
Yeah.
They need the bodies. And then capability, like what were the threats? How do we deal with it? What's the new technology? Which was like enlightening, right?
They got some cool stuff.
Coming from the Green Army, where you go through this process,
Yeah.
to over there, where if it's something that needs to happen, it's happening.
Right.
If money needs to be spent, the money's being
Like
spent.
the procurement of the resources and the
Training.
equipment, the
Yeah.
training.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
yeah. So the flash to bang from like identifying the requirement to meeting the requirement was much faster.
Wow.
So I got to see a lot of things come to fruition in that role. And I say it in the book, and I kind of mean it. Like those guys, like partial to snipers everywhere. I never worked with in that kind of capacity with the Dwyer Hill guys, but those guys were rock stars. Like there wasn't anything those guys couldn't do. They were incredible shooters, incredibly fit, smart. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done. Like there's nothing outside of telling some stories or being the face that represents at a conference or something. I'm not contributing anymore to the group. And I decided to retire.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was the one of the better jobs. Like being UMS
Yeah.
in Afghanistan is the best job.
It's like the pinnacle.
Yeah. Like it's all the things that you were trained to do, you're doing. But the program manager job was a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was another way to find that pinnacle of purpose.
Yeah.
And like, I guess, when I look back at it, I'm not from the sniper community, but like looking back at being someone who was an instructor, one of the greatest contributions you can have to your own organization is to teach.
Yeah.
And, or to be in a leadership position.
Yeah.
And in lieu of that, being in a position where you can contribute to developing.
Yeah.
Your community, your capability.
Yeah.
And that's what you did, and that's amazing.
Yeah. I feel like proud of what I did.
Mm-hmm.
I kick myself for leaving.
Why?
Well, in
Got more gas in the tank?
as soon as you get out, there's always gas, you know?
Yeah.
But there was a couple things that I still wanted to accomplish with the group, that I felt bad not getting done. But that all, evolved into working with the same guy who brought me there in 2016 to stand up the Canadian Sniper Association.
Wow.
So
you stood it up, or you worked with these guys to stand it up?
there's 5 of us.
Okay.
Well, there was initially 4. We ended up getting another guy. It's all on the website there.
It's called the Canadian Sniper Association?
Yeah. We've been active now for just over a year.
Do you guys go by an acronym, CSA? Or?
CSA.
Wow.
Yeah.
For anybody listening, check it out if you're from the sniper community.
Yeah. We got a merch shop opening in the next couple of weeks. We just
Fantastic.
approved all the designs. So, it just keeps growing, and I get to stay connected, through the association. I got to, for the last basic sniper course last year, it was a 1 RCR guy that topped the course. So I got to give, we procured these knives from Randy Turner, who's a combatives instructor. He does other instructing as well. Super great.
From the Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, direct action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a direct action. Yeah.
Awesome.
We got 3 of those. We presented them, 1 to each of the brigade top candidates. So I got to do that at their men's festive dinner.
Wow.
And then we're doing the same thing again this year with the same knives, except this time we'll have our logo engraved on the side. So still, active. And ultimately, the goal, like gold standard, would be to bring CISC back under our hat. So it'd be the Canadian Sniper Association organizing the CISC, obviously leaning heavily on CAF for ranges and RSOs and all that good stuff. And then to reinvigorate the symposiums we used to have. So we'd have, all of the snipers come together, special forces, all the regiments, and just share lessons learned.
Yeah.
Like for, a week. have some vendor stuff, look at what's new for snipers or all the things we employ now. So
I think that's a great idea.
yeah,
I think collaborating and getting together as communities is so important. The military is just built off of communities.
Yeah.
And it's the people that really bring life to it and bring value to it
Yeah.
and continue to bring value to it as the generations come by and
100%.
and leave.
Yeah.
Because from your era of snipers, it's changed, and
Yeah.
and I think when we talk about change, I think we can all be very proud about if we see the changes evolving.
Yeah.
We're moving forward.
Yeah.
I think that you're very passionate. You demonstrated so much initiative and dedication that you continue to do it while being retired. Your book is a contribution.
Yeah.
This is a way where you're giving back to the community, and in fact, you're not just giving back. You're helping it trying to move forward.
100%.
You're collaborating with the regiments of snipers.
Yeah.
So the RCR, the PPCLI, and the Van Doos, the Can Softcom,
Yeah.
and bringing them together. And I think when you start bringing like-minded people together, great things happen.
I agree.
And I wish you the success with that. And I can't wait to see your book and read your book and hopefully do this again down the road when your book is a hard copy out or paper copy out.
I'm hoping that's next week.
Yeah?
So yeah.
Okay, awesome. Gord, thank you so much for taking the time. There's so much to talk about. You've had a very interesting career, but I just want to say thank you for your service because what you did is very meaningful to the regiment, to the army, to the military, because you've contributed such different levels and different branches.
I appreciate
That the military, it's a hard organization to work in, and it asks for a lot, and sometimes it gives us a lot of opportunities to grow and become who we are today.
Absolutely.
So thank you for what you've done. Thank you for what you do today. And I look forward to hearing back from you and reading your book.
Yeah.
And I'll throw this back over to you, Gord, if you have any final remarks.
No, I appreciate this. This was nice to have this chat. And I think moving forward, as we evolve, I see nothing but good things for snipers in the future. And to that same respect in these tough times, calf growing, and rebuilding.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time today, Gord. Well said, and so many things to take away from today's conversation. For everybody listening, today's guest was Gordon Cullen, a retired veteran from the RCR, from the sniper community. Check out his book. The title again? Send It. And it's going to be dropping on Kindle when?
It's already out on Amazon in Kindle form.
Okay, awesome.
Just not the paper copy.
But soon.
Yeah, I think next week.
Hey, by the time people probably hear this podcast, when it's published, it'll probably be out by then. So check it out. The book's probably out by now. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Pro Patria, and we'll catch you guys next time.